Hello and welcome to another Tag Tuesday. So this week we are doing the Guilty Reader tag. Again, I have not been tagged in any of these tags, and if you do want to be tagged in them, let me know in the comment section below because I tag whoever wants to do this because I think they're a lot of fun. But let's just get right into this Guilty Reader tag. The first question is, have you ever regifted a book you have been given? No, I have not. In fact, all of the books that I bought or have been given have never been given to anybody else. I have given some to charity shops and things like that. I've donated them to my local food bank and things like that, but I've never actually regifted a book. I haven't regifted anything. It's just not something that I've ever done. Question 2. Have you ever said you've read a book that you haven't? I can't say definitively that I have done this. I probably have said that I've read more books than I have in university, and maybe not said that I have read a book and just kind of let people assume that I have read it, but you know, it's hard to say. Question 3. Have you ever borrowed a book and not returned it? Yes. My brother and my father and my mother have lent me many books. It's not a big deal because I still live with them, but they're all in my room. They are not leaving. They'll be here forever. Question 4. Have you ever read a series out of orders? Multiple times. So sometimes I'll be going to chapters and I'll just like start picking up books at random, and then I'll get home and I'll read it and I'll be like, this feels like I'm missing something, and then I'll flip to the front of the book and realize that it's like the second book in a series. This has happened to me several times. Once with Joe Walton's The Philosopher Kings. I read that before I read The Just City. And it also happened with Heinlein's books. I've read The Cat That Walks Through Walls, which is the third book in that series that it belongs to, and right now I have just finished Time Enough for Love, which is the first book in that series. So yeah, it's unfortunate to read a series out of order, but I also don't think it's really a deal breaker. 5. Have you ever spoiled a book for someone? And the answer for this one is unfortunately yes. So, like most of us, when I was a youngin' in elementary school, in grade 6 to be exact, I was obsessed with a series of unfortunate events. In the summer between grade 5 and 6, I read all of them that were published. So I think that was up to book 11 or book 12. And I got back to school and a guy that I was friendly with but not friends with, named Greg, was getting a book out from the series, and we were talking about it, and I accidentally spoiled the ending of the 11th book. He was halfway through and I felt so bad. So Greg, if for some reason you're watching this, I'm so sorry. I don't know how much it mattered to you, but I have felt guilty about it ever since that day. Yeah. Question 6. Have you ever dog-eared a book? I know I have dog-eared a book at least once in my life. It was a sad time. I didn't like doing it, and I tried to avoid it whenever possible. I have multiple bookmarks. In fact, bookmarks is one of the videos that I want to do soon. There was a cool one that I watched recently, which I'll link down below. It was so cute. But yes, no dog earing here. 7. Have you ever told someone you don't own a book that you do? And for this, I'm going to say probably. I don't like lending out books very much. There was a couple times where I did lend people books and they just never returned them, or they returned them to me in atrocious condition. So depending on who asks me, I'll say no, or say I don't know. I'll check and then just never get back to them. The only people that I lend books to are my close friends who I know that they treat books well. Question 8. Have you ever told someone you haven't read a book you have? And this is no. I've always been very open and honest about my reading, and if I've read a book and didn't like it, or read a book that's a little bit embarrassing, I will tell people that I read it because I think it's the right thing to do. I don't really believe in hiding what I've been reading because it just doesn't seem to serve any purpose to me. Question 9. Have you ever skipped a section or chapter of a book? Obviously, the answer for this one is yes. Sometimes for my required readings, they actually had us skip chapters and sections. In my first year of university, when I got the reading list, which was like 49 books, it was a lot of books for a full year for 4 credits, So like it's not as bad as it sounds, but you were expected to read all those plus things that were in a handbook. And for the first semester I read almost every book cover to cover, and then after that I started going by the reading guide, which had you skip sections of most books or only read the first little bit. So yes, I have skipped many books, many sections and chapters of books, either by direction or because I didn't, mostly by direction. And the final question is question 10. Have you ever badmouthed a book that you actually liked? And this one is, again, is going to be no, because I don't think that criticizing a book for flaws that are in it is badmouthing it. There's definitely books that I've read and have really liked, but have had some very serious problems with, and some people would say that I have badmouthed those books, but I don't think that me saying that things in them were problematic really negates the enjoyment that I took from it. So no, I have not badmouthed a book that I actually liked. So that brings us to the end of this tag. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you like Tag Tuesday, give me a thumbs up, and yeah, we'll see you in the next video. So until then.